This is going to be a video showing you how to hand welt, which is stitching the welt, which is this piece of leather, through your upper, through your midsole in a single stitch. And the idea of that is that's then stitched on, and then when we stick the sole on, we can do a separate stitch that just goes through the welt and the sole, and it means that there's no single stitch going through from the ground into the centre of the shoe. The stitch is just going on the outside here. I think this is probably the hardest part to learn as a beginner shoemaker. I can probably do this in a couple of hours now per shoe, but the first shoe I ever made, which was actually a boot, it took me 3 days to do a single shoe. And just getting the thread through a single hole once took me like an hour. So yeah, if you're struggling with this, don't worry, it does get easier, but you do need to practice it quite a lot. This is a standard welt. It's about 17mm wide. There's a 90-degree edge on one side and is skived on the other side, and has a groove put into it under the skived edge, which is where the stitch will go. So this is your outside, and this is towards the inside of the shoe. Now you can also get wider welts. This is about 25mm wide. Primarily for boots. I wouldn't advise it for shoes because it makes going round the toe quite difficult. This is the thread I'm using. It's a linen thread, and I'll put on the screen the type of it now. You can use a thicker thread. I found this to be the perfect thickness, to be honest. I've never managed to snap it. It's a waxed thread, but I add this called shoemaker's wax or code, COAD, and what this is a really sticky substance that means that the thread will stick together when you're doing a saddle stitch. It's a very easy step to skip, applying the code to the scrap piece of leather and then applying it to the thread, but it's well worth doing. It makes the process a lot easier. This is the bristle I'll be using. There's one on either end of the thread for the saddle stitch, and I'll show you how to make that now. This is spring wire. It's 0.4mm spring wire. Going to half in size, so you can make it really any size you want. I recommend about cut to about 15 centimeters. Then we're going to line up the two ends, so we've split it in half exactly, and just grip it at this end and just squeeze it tight like that. Then I'll come to a vise. I'd probably use 2 pieces of wood as opposed to a metal vise, because you want it to free up, and then just put the end in and clamp it as tightly as you can. So it's clamped in as tightly as I can now, and I'm going to put a drill on top of it and then just spin it in the drill. So that's in a drill now. I'm just going to lift it up vertically and then spin it. And now I'm probably going to put it in again and spin it again just to get a few more revolutions on it. And that's it, finished. So you've got a hole here that you can put the thread through, and then what I tend to do is I pull the thread through about 6 inches, and then I pierce it with the sharp point and thread through, pierce it here and feed the needle through. There you go. Pull it through, pull it up. There you go, that'll now be secure. When you measure out the welt before you cut it to length, just make sure you give yourself a couple of inches of overlap. And when you measure your thread out, go around the entire length of it, and then essentially you want that length but times 5. So 5 times the length around of it is the length of your thread you'll need. And before you start, you want to skive to nothing at one end of the welt, and that'll be where you start with it. And then when you come round with your welt and it's been stitched on, we'll then skive the other end flat and lay them on top of each other. So this is the awl I'm using. It's just a welting awl, curved awl. You also have a hammer flattening the welt on, some nips to pull the nails out, and I have some gloves that I made myself just to protect my hands, mostly from the thread, to be honest. I've already put the holes in through the midsole, and you can see me doing that on my midsole making tutorial. So the little lines you can see along here are just showing me where the holes actually are. Now the taut method for doing this is that you hold the welt on here and you go from the inside, push the awl all the way through the levers, and then up through the welt. I found that I always ended up breaking a lot of awls doing that. So I hold the welt on and I come from the top and then find the hole and come out that way, which I find to be a lot easier, and basically I never break my awl. So just make sure your awl is nice and sharp. Now I always go the same direction. I start at the arch and go around. It doesn't matter which shoe I'm doing, I always do it that way. Like the drawing of the welt to be somewhere on the inside, that's why I always start around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this skived part of the welt, and I'm going to line it up so there's a hole here. So I want the skived bit to be in line with that hole, but I'm not actually going to use that hole first. That's going to be my final hole when I've done all the welt, and I'm going to lay the two skived ends of the welt on top of each other, and that's going to be my final stitch hole. So I'm actually going to start next to it here. So I'm just going to open up the hole a little bit, because it might have been hammered flat a little bit from when I put the hole in originally. I'm going to hold the welt with my left thumb, and then I'm going to get the awl and go down, pierce the welt, pierce the upper, pierce the lining, and then I'm going to, there we go. See, I've just slightly missed the hole there. It's gone underneath it, but that's fine. As long as you go underneath and don't come out in the middle of the ridge and weaken it, it's fine. It's not going to weaken the hole there. And now just make sure you push the awl through. That'll help you get the bristle through. Get your bristle and poke it through. And then pull your thread through so that you've got exactly half on either side. And below it again, that's fine. We're going to be putting the thread through in both directions. I think it's harder to get the bristle through this direction from inside to the outside of the shoe, and I think it's easier getting the other bristle in from the outside to the inside of the shoe. So I always start with the harder one first. It helps if you have a curve on your bristle, which you can just manually do yourself. Now if you're struggling to get the bristle through and up through the lever, you can just move the welt to the side, and if you just put a bit of pressure where the hole is, it will probably make it a little bit easier to find the bristle or get the bristle through. Also using some pliers to pull it through because it's getting a bit stuck. There we go. And if you have removed the welt to get the hole through, just make sure you feed the needle back through the welt. So you've completed half a stitch there. I'm going to take the other end of the thread. I'm going to feed it through where that, I'm going to feed it back through. So we're completing the saddle stitch here. Tends to be a little bit easier coming from the top in, like I've said. There you go. Now, before you pull it tight, just check to make sure the two lengths of your thread with you are the exact same size. Pull them tight. You really want to get nice and tight here. And then hammer down where you've attached the welt. Tighten up again. And then we'll do another stitch and another stitch. That next stitch is through, but I've not tightened it up yet. I always remove the nail in between, that will be in between the stitches before I tighten it up. And then when I tighten it up, I tighten up the previous stitch first, and then tighten up that one, and then hammer again. Now one of the key points is where do you place the welt in relation to this ridge that we've created, or this ridge. Basically the skived edge, as you can see, the skived edge here should be resting on the ridge. So if I show you on a midsole that doesn't have any leather in the way, so you can see, skived edge wants to be basically resting on top of this ridge line here, and you want to keep the distance between the very edge of there and the very edge of here the exact same all the way around, and it will keep your welt even on the outside of the shoe. Now a little tip to get you started with this: sometimes what you'll struggle with is you'll be able to get the thread through in one direction, like I've done here, but for whatever reason you won't be able to get it through in the opposite direction. You just won't be able to feed the bristle through. So what you can do if you're really struggling is you take your thread that needs to go through this direction, and you can use your bristle or a sharp object to pierce this thread, run the thread through, and then you can pull back with this thread and it'll pull this other thread through. You might have to remove the bristles and reattach them, but it'll get you through the stitch. It's a painful way of doing it because it's quite time consuming, but if you're stuck trying to get it through for an hour, trust me, you want any way of doing it. So if you can get one single bristle through, that's how you can keep going and speed up the process slightly. And also along those lines, if you're struggling to get through and you've got one of the threads through, you can almost push the end of the bristle into the thread that's already through and pull the thread through slightly, and it should guide it a little bit and pull it through like it did there. Some people put a knot in every time they do a stitch. I don't knot it at all. I rely on the code to provide tension further back along here. I think if you put a knot in or on a stitch, you can kind of create a weakness in the thread a little bit, and so it can lead to your thread snapping. When you get to the toe, and the same applies for the heel, I almost aim a little bit wider with my welt, maybe only 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters towards the edge, towards the outside, and it'll draw itself in when it goes around the bend a little bit. Also, when going on the heel or the toe, try to keep this section flat around the outside, and you'll get a little lump, the leather will lump up, it'll fold up a little bit on this inside. That's absolutely fine. What we'll do is I'll put a hole in here, we'll put the stitch through, pull the stitch tight, and when we hammer that, it'll go flat. So I've got the stitch through, so I'm going to pull it tight. And it's pretty much already gone. It is just about there, you can't really tell on the camera. And now it's flat. Now I'm getting to the heel area. It's no real different to the toe. You'll get little ridges that flatten out when you stitch and then hammer them. But one thing to point out is the back strip here, and not all shoes will have a back strip. That's the most difficult bit to stitch, just because you've got that extra layer of leather. If you're really struggling, you don't need to stitch the welt on here. You can use wooden pegs and just put a hole through to the last and fire wooden pegs through. The wooden pegs will hit the last and round over, and then when you take the shoe out of the last at the end, you can rasp them flat. But I never do that, I just stitch it. Final little tip to help with the hand welting and the stitching, and this applies especially around the heel rather than around the toe and front of the shoe, is when you're lasting the leather over, because you're not pulling against anything here, if you pull too tightly, you'll pull this area of the shoe down, and the same goes for the heel. See how it's on the back heel point there? When I was lasting it, if I'd have pulled that too tightly, that would have dragged all the way down. So sometimes, because you're being cautious about not wanting to pull too tightly around here, your leather won't be tight up against the last here, and it will be loose here, and it'll be loose all the way around here, which makes the stitching harder. Feel the leather around here, where you can feel through the leather and you can feel the midsole. If there's too much spring there, just take a couple of nails out and pull it a little bit tighter. Now I'm just going to trim it here and then skive it flat from that point. There you go, one hand welted shoe. If you have any questions, leave a comment, or my email address will be in the description.